or visit us online.
Welcome back to Carolina This Week. We got done talking about politics. Now we're going to talk about sports, which some people may think that the lines are blurred between the two. This is Dr. Jim Berry. He's the head athletic trainer with Horry County Schools.
Myrtle Beach High School,
actually. Oh, with Myrtle Beach High School, I'm sorry. And Maryam Fischer with St. James High School.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having us. I appreciate being here.
I think this is a good time of year to talk about this because we've got lots of sports going on. Granted, maybe the spotlight always gets shined on football, but now we have soccer, track, we have baseball, so many different sports that are firing up at one time. And I'm sure there are a lot of parents watching this show who have some kids that are going to be going out there to take part in these sports. First off, Horry County is really maybe a little bit ahead of the ball when it comes to a lot of schools, not only in the state, but in the nation when it comes down to having professionals like yourselves available to the students.
Most definitely. Horry County has always been a leader here in South Carolina with employing certified, full-time on-site certified athletic trainers. One of the first school districts in the state to do it. For about 30 years. Dr. Richard Ward, who's an orthopedist based in Myrtle Beach, when he came here from West Virginia, he recognized the extreme importance of having athletic health care available to high school students and worked with the school district to develop that program. We've gone from one district-wide athletic trainer about 30 years ago to now having 11 of us on staff, 11 or 12 of us on staff throughout the school district. And it's really a testament to the school district's commitment to making sure that our students are taken care of and kept safe on a daily basis.
What is the biggest thing you guys really struggle with year to year when it comes down to students participating in sports and them staying healthy?
The kids they pick up on things that happen out in the community, out at upper levels. So we see it trickle down to us, you know, what the pros are doing, what the college athletes are doing. And it's not always the totally correct thing to do at the time, or it may not be specific for their age group or their level of activity, so it may not apply to them, but they don't understand that. So we do deal with, you know, trying to block out what happens, you know, college ball, professional ball, and focus on this is what you need to do as a high school athlete, you know, as far as supplements or, you know, equipment, things like that.
Well, I imagine one of the tough things to deal with, and I know when I was in high school and I was participating in sports, it was something that we saw a lot of. These kids' bodies really aren't fully developed yet, and some weight training exercises, I mean, let alone the banned substances and things like that, but just things that athletes on a professional or even collegiate level routinely do, you shouldn't really be doing when you're middle school, high school age.
Yep.
That's exactly right. In fact, just this week, Dr. Jimmy Andrews down in Alabama, who's a famous orthopedic surgeon, most recently dealt with Robert Griffin III and his knee injury with the Washington Redskins. He just published an article that came out on Monday about the fact that we're overemphasizing one sport. We have too many specialized athletes nowadays, especially in the young adolescent age. And as a result, he's seen this incredible spike in injuries among young and adolescent athletes because their bodies, just as you said, their bodies aren't ready to do the things that we're asking them to do. But unfortunately in our society, that's what we're asking young athletes to do now. And as a result, we've seen this 60% increase in the number of injuries to teenage and younger athletes over the last 10 years, which just is very concerning.
When I was an undergrad, we did surgical observations, and there was a 15-year-old softball player getting a total knee replacement. 15 years old, because she had been doing softball 365 for years.
Wow.
You know, so I mean, she was 15 years old, just had very bad osteochondritis, you know, where the cartilage breaks down in the knees from overuse, and had to get, the only option for her was to get a total knee replacement.
Well, and the pressure's on a lot of these kids, not only from their parents, but a lot of times just coming from themselves. If you want to go to college, the only way you're going to get there is to get a scholarship. To get that scholarship, you've got to perform at the top of your game. Right. So they're pushing themselves as hard as these athletes who are pushing themselves to make
a living.
Right. When you talk to the kids and when you talk to parents, what's the big thing that what's the #1 message you want to send home to parents as their kids get off into a athletic, you know, just delving into athletics?
I think from our perspective as athletic health providers and as athletic trainers, number one, and we're fortunate here in Horry County because the school district has provided us and provided us to their students and to the parents. Unfortunately, if you go into areas of the PD and other school districts, especially our 1A schools and our 2A schools, not all of those schools have the benefit of having that on-site full-time athletic health care every day. If that's the case, it's even more incumbent upon parents to ask the question, who's taking care of my kid? Who's going to be responsible if my child suffers a concussion on a Friday night at a football game or on a Tuesday afternoon playing soccer in the spring? Do they know what they're doing? Do they know how to recognize a concussion? Who's trained to do that? And unfortunately, a lot of times that falls upon the coaches. And coaches are really good at what they do, but medicine isn't something that coaches do, and it shouldn't fall upon them to do that. So I think the most important message that we carry to parents, and especially with this being National Athletic Training Month, is who's taking care of your kids, who's responsible at your school for the medical health care, what are the procedures that are in place to take care of your child if they get hurt? What are we supposed to do?
I want to take a quick break, and when we come back, I want to talk about two things that we always hear about when it comes down to high school athletics, and those are concussions and what the heat, and we all know what the heat is like around here, especially in the months to come. So let's talk about that when we come back. We'll be right back.
Hello, Chevy fans. The day's finally here. The grand opening of the all-new Judd Kuhn Chevrolet. Billy, what brought you here?
Well, I just love this brand-new state-of-the-art facility.
Well, here's NASCAR champion crew chief Greg Zipadelli.
I'm here for the discounts up to $9,500 off, and you don't pay until May. Right, Judd?
That's right. Plus, you get the presidential treatment, a free lifetime powertrain warranty, and more.
The grand opening of the all-new Judd Kuhn Chevrolet.
Bigger, better, and it's all for you at Judd Kuhn Chevrolet in Little River.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
What would you do with $500? Blue Green Resorts is giving away $500 a week in the Capture the Dream with Blue Green giveaway. $500 to pay bills, $500 to take a vacation, $500 to use just the way you want. That's right, $500 to use any way you want. To capture the dream, log on to carolinalive.com and click on the Blue Green link in the special feature section. Type in your info and click submit. It's that easy. So capture the dream with Blue Green and be $500 richer today.
Their price, $30,000. Your price, $20. Can you tell the difference? Even expert jewelers have a difficult time distinguishing the diamond Z4 CZ from mined diamonds because of their similarity. This exquisite ring features a flawless simulated diamond center stone of 2 3/4 carats surrounded by over 1 1/4 carats of round and tapered flawless baguettes. One jewelry industry professional marveled at their beauty and brilliance.
It's exceedingly rare to see such flawless stones.
He's right. Comparable solitaires made of diamonds can cost up to $30,000. Your price through this special invitation will be only $20. And for a limited time, you can also receive this beautiful band with 1.92 carats of diamond Z4s. Get both CZ rings totaling over an astounding 6 carats for $20. So call or click now.
Call 1-800-355-0243 and get your Diamond Z4 ring. But hurry, call us and get a matching band with your order. So call now, 1-800-355-0243.
Welcome back to Carolina This Week. Joining me this morning are the athletic directors at Myrtle Beach High School, Dr. Jim Barry, and at St. James High School, Maryam Fischer. And we've been talking about some things that parents and students need to be aware about in this spring season when so many different sports take off. And one of them that we hear about, especially moving deeper into spring and into summer, is what the heat can do to kids. And I know that we just talked about how hard kids are pushing themselves these days, let alone the coaches. What's a good rule of thumb, even if they're just at home playing? And as you mentioned, Jim, you know, this isn't just for people who live in Horry County, because you guys are at Horry County schools. If you live in the PD, take some of this advice if you're not getting it anyplace else. What do you do about heat? What are the rules of thumb?
Again, I think the most important thing is to know what are the procedures that are in place, what are the policies. Here in South Carolina, every high school is supposed to have a heat policy in place, an acclimatization policy. The South Carolina High School League has a acclimatization policy in place that specifically outlines for each team, particularly in the fall. It's not as big of an issue in the spring because of the way the weather's set up. It is a big deal in the fall. So we have very specific guidelines about how many hours a day you can practice the first 15 days of practice, how many practices you can actually have. So again, parents should be asking the questions of their coaching staffs and of their schools. What are the policies that are in place? The one problem we have in our state right now is that we're not necessarily aligned with the national standard. Corey Stringer Institute, which is an institute affiliated with the University of Connecticut, named after the Minnesota football player who passed away from a heat illness, heat injury. They have very specific guidelines that they have established. South Carolina is working to meet those guidelines, and we're working with KSI to do that. Unfortunately, we still have some areas that we need to work on, and the problem is there's a disparity between what one district is doing and another district is doing. For example, here in our area, Georgetown County has a much stricter view of heat guidelines than what we do here in Horry County. So there are times in Georgetown County where they may not be able to practice on a given day outside because it's just too hot according to their procedures. So we have to find the happy medium where everybody can do what they need to do but still keep our kids safe.
The other thing we talk about a lot are concussions, and we see this, and we see both the heat and the concussions happen on the pro level, like you mentioned, Maryam. When things are happening on the pro and collegiate level, they trickle down to the high school level. And you gave me a statistic. I think it was something to the tune of concussions are up 60% or so. Yep,
yes.
Has increased 60% in the last 10 years.
Yes.
And I imagine a lot of this is because now we're on the lookout for it.
It is, and now we're able to identify it, a lot more precisely. We have the impact testing is implemented in all schools in Horry County, and schools at the collegiate level, even professional level, where we can do computerized assessment. There's no more lying about symptoms. We can detect it a lot easier and have concrete evidence that there's something going on, with the brain structure itself. So it's great that Horry County has got on board with this, and we test all of our contact athletes. So in the spring, that's our baseball, softball, and soccer athletes at the JV and varsity level. And now we have B team baseball and softball, so they'll be tested as well. So we're looking at what their normal statistics are, because with the high school population, their brains are developing. So they're more susceptible to having traumatic injuries with even a minor concussion. We try not to label it a minor, moderate, or major concussion. A concussion is a concussion. So it's very important, and it's great that Horry County has this technology available to use that to help our athletes that are diagnosed with concussions.
Another thing in this material, I assumed football, you're going to be susceptible to concussions,
yes.
But soccer surprised me. And I know a lot of kids, my own kids, who play soccer.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you watch a soccer game nowadays, it's played in the air, a good portion of it. They're heading the ball, they want to get the ball in the goal with their head, going up for those headers, and they hit each other, head-to-head contact, that kind of stuff, even falling on the ground, hitting your head on the ground. So for women, that's the #1 sport where concussions are common, is soccer. But it is on the rise, and there's some states that are implementing, requiring soccer players at the high school level to wear these padded caps on their head to see if that helps diminish concussion. So, they're looking into things to try to lower that statistic with soccer.
All right. So. Well, the takeaway to me here this morning is, if you're unaware of what your school is doing to keep your child safe out on the field, check with them, put the pressure on them, put the onus on them to let you know what they're doing.
And I think that that's most important with this issue of concussions. The days of, and this is the take-home message, if parents don't hear anything else today about concussions, is if your child says they hurt their head, you need to take that seriously, and you need to get them looked at. The day of saying, oh, it's just, they just got their bell rung, they'll be okay. That the long-term effects of that is just devastating. And please, if your child tells you that they've hurt their head, get it checked out.
All right. Thanks for coming in, guys. I think it's important information, and good to know that you're out there helping the kids.
Right.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Fast Fix fixes it all. Watch bands, batteries, eyeglasses, they do it all.
Whenever I need my jewelry repaired or rings fixed, I go to Fast Fix. I drop it off and it's ready in a few hours.
Fast Fix fixed my glasses, saving me from needing to replace them.
Whenever I need a personalized gift, I always come to Fast Fix. It's a great way to show someone you care.
Fast Fix, it's right here in the mall.
When you want it fixed fast or need a great gift, go to Fast Fix.
Fast Fix Jewelry and Watch Repair in the Coastal Grand Mall next to Dillard's.
Hi, I'm Joe Gray with the GoJo Hands-Free, the only device on Earth that's truly hands-free. These things are not hands-free. You stick them in your ears, gross, but you still have to hold your phone. And these are not legal for hands-free driving. The GoJo goes on in 1 second. Hello? 1 Mississippi. Hey Mom, I can't talk right now. And it works with all phones. Flip phones, cordless phones, even landlines. And pop it off. Any phone, big or small, even the most radical moves won't knock it off. The GoJo goes on with one hand, so you can keep your eyes on the road. I love it.
It's true hands-free.
Call now and I'll send you 2 GoJos for just $10. And I'll throw in my Super Grip mat absolutely free. It grips and holds your phone, music player, or anything else you can think of. Call now and I'll double the entire offer. Just pay processing and handling. That's 4 GoJos and 2 Super Grip mats for just $10.
To order for $10 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-548-9836 or go online at gojohandsfree.com.
That's all for Carolina this week. Don't forget to watch the Horry County Council Chair debate coming up Tuesday night, March 5th at 7 o'clock live here on News Channel 15. Have a great week.
Conway Medical Center is truly bringing better health to life, and that's why CMC is Lauren Sawyer's hospital.
I went into labor on a Friday night, and we drove to the birthplace at Conway Medical Center.
CMC understands the unique needs and expectations of first-time parents.
Nurses were wonderful. They answered all of our questions, showed us how to bathe.